Today we will discuss the logical connective that is called implication or implies. And this is a case when we have a full sentence, a long, intricate sentence that is made out of two smaller, simpler sentences. And our aim is to look at this big whole sentence, the one that is comprised of two small sentences, and as we look at the big one, the full one, the whole one, we should decide whether this sentence as a whole, whether it is a true sentence or is a false sentence. And how do we do that? What we do is we observe the two smaller sentences that comprises the big one, and according to the smaller sentences status, whether those small two ones, whether they are true or false, each one of them his own status or own label that we put on it, then we could reach a conclusion whether the full sentence, the whole one, whether it is as a whole true or false. So when we do this, and when we look at how other teachers or books or ebooks or texts regarding this issue, when we look at the books that already exist, we usually see that there is some example that repeats itself many times. This example is very popular, so I will use it here, but later on I will introduce a new example that I think will make things clearer than the first ubiquitous example that I will first use. So the example that we usually see regarding this issue of this logical connective that is called implication, we see the example of if it will rain, then I will take an umbrella. So this example really comes to mind a lot in many texts and books, and to show it more extensively, I will draw the little truth table that you probably seen many times. So here I will quickly just draw it. So I will have so you will see the truth table that you perhaps seen before. So let's say we have those two short sentences that I described before. The first one is, if it will rain. So I will call this short sentence P. If it will rain. And the second sentence is, then I will take an umbrella. So I will call this small sentence, I will call it Q. So in the case that it did rain, well, let's say that first of all, as I woke up in the morning, the first thing I do is I wrote to all of my friends in all of the direct messages application that I could think about, and I told all of my friends and acquaintances, if it's going to rain, I will take an umbrella with me. So let's say that the way it turned out was that it did rain. So in the case that it did rain, and it would be true, the first option, the first sentence is true, it did rain at the end, and I did not take an umbrella. So the second sentence is false, I did not take an umbrella. Whatever, in this case, you can absolutely say that I am a liar. I did not follow through with my intentions. I told all of my friends, I declared that if it would rain, I would take an umbrella, and it did rain. So it did rain, that was true, but I, at the last minute, changed my mind. I turned my back on my promise, and I did not take an umbrella. So in this case, no doubt, you can say that I am a liar, and this whole declaration I made in the morning to all of my friends that if it will rain, I will take an umbrella, came up to be false. So this whole full sentence is false. So the full sentence is the sentence that is comprised of those two small sentences. So as a total, my declaration was false. I did not keep my word. So in another case, that's the second case, that it did rain. So in the case that it did rain, and this time I did took my umbrella. So the second case is that both of the small sentences that comprise the full sentence, both of them became true. So I wake up in the morning, I tell everybody I know, I declare my intentions that if it's going to rain, I will take an umbrella, and lo and behold, it did rain. So the first sentence is true, and I did take an umbrella. I did do it. So no doubt, all of my acquaintances can now rest assured I am an honest person. My declaration was true. I was completely honest. I did what I said I'm going to do. It did rain, and I did take an umbrella. So all of this full sentence is, as a whole, true. Now, the more tricky part and perhaps unintuitive part begins now. What happens when I, even though I told all of my friends and acquaintances that if it would rain, I would take an umbrella, this morning it did not rain. So the other options, the two last options that are left, are the case that the first sentence, the one that I said that if it's going to rain, I will take an umbrella. The first sentence, the one that says that it's going to rain, came up untrue. It did not rain that day. So in these cases, I will write here false. And interestingly, it's interesting that whatever I decided to do that day, the day that it did not rain, whether I decided to take an umbrella or not to take an umbrella, this truth table, the mathematical rule is that this sentence as a whole is going to be true. And this is kind of baffling. I mean, why is it true? I mean, it did not rain. And whatever I did, whether I took an umbrella or not took an umbrella, I am deemed to be an honest person, as if this whole sentence that I said in the morning, that if it will rain, I will take an umbrella, is deemed to be true. And this is kind of strange. And I think this is where this example of rain and umbrellas is kind of not strong enough and not explanatory enough to explain this conundrum. So in order to explain those two last options that I just described, that it did not rain, and whatever I did, take an umbrella or not take an umbrella, this whole sentence is true. In order to explain this resolve, I'm going to use a different example. I'm going to call to my aid an American rapper, a known rapper, 50 Cent. So 50 Cent kind of really grasped this idea pretty well, and he has a song that is called 21 Questions. So I cannot play you the song right now, but I will, because of copyright infringement, that I cannot really play the clip. But I will sing it to you just just a few sentences, just so you will remember which song I'm talking about. So the song goes like this. Girl, it's easy to love me now. Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? And I will place a link to the original song and to the lyrics in the description of this video, so you can follow along. So if you observe the lyrics of the song, 50 Cent is confronting his girlfriend, his spouse, and he wants to ask her 21 questions, as the name of the song implies, and he asks her a few questions, and they're very pertinent questions, and I will go through a few of the questions that he asks his girlfriend. And he asks the following. He asks her, if I fell off tomorrow, would you still love me? If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me? If I got locked up and sentenced to a quarter century, could I count on you to be there to support me mentally? If I went back to a hippie from a Benz, would you poof and disappear like some of my friends? And he also ends up and asks her, if I ain't rap because I flip burgers at Burger King, would you be ashamed to tell your friends you're feeling me? So we can see that 50 Cent asks some very important questions. And if I was in the place of his spouse or girlfriend or partner, and I would be the one that is being addressed by those questions, I can tell you with no doubt and with a straight face, I would have told 50 Cent, yes. I would have told him, and with all my heart and conviction, I would tell him, yes, if you fell tomorrow from your greatness, and you would not be a rapper anymore, I would still love you, 50 Cent. I would also tell him, if you didn't smell so good, I would still hug you. If you got locked up a quarter century in prison, I would still be there to support you mentally, and so on. So me, as myself, if I would be driving in a 50 Cent's Mercedes-Benz and he would ask me all of this question, I would unashamedly would say to him, yes, I would do all of this for you. If you fell off your greatness, I would still love you, hug you, support you, and so on. So the thing is that as long as 50 Cent and I, we are still riding in his Mercedes-Benz, flying all over the world in private jets, and live in his Beverly Hills mansion, as long as we are in that mansion and having all of this prosperity, it doesn't matter what I do, whether I hug him or not hug him. 50 Cent can never say to me that I'm a liar. 50 Cent can never come to me and start an argument with me, accusing me of anything. Because I was true when I made all of these declarations of my intentions. He can never come and tell me that I am a bad woman, unfaithful, or nothing. He has nothing against me. And it doesn't matter what I do, whether I hug him or not. My declaration that if he falls off his status as a successful rapper, I will still love him. This I'm holding true my declaration, and 50 Cent has nothing against me. So in this case, that 50 Cent and we still live in this Beverly Hills mansion or Los Angeles mansion, and we're still riding his Mercedes-Benz. It doesn't matter whether I hug him or not hug him, or loving or not loving him. I am always still true to my declaration, to my conviction, to my assertion, and he cannot have a fight with me and say to me that I did something bad because my declaration was true. And even if 50 and whatever I said, I stand by it. So and I will still continue to be his spouse, and he cannot say anything about me bad. So now I'll just write it in the truth table. So in case that, and I'll just change the titles of those two small sentences. The first sentence is if I will fall off being a successful rapper. So let's call it if I will fall from my status. And the second little sentence was, will you still love me? Yes, 50 Cent, I will still love you. Okay, so in case that 50 Cent continued to be a successful rapper, so the fallout did not happen. He did not fall from his status. He was not sentenced to a quarter century in the prison. So the first sentence did not happen. He did not went to work in Burger King. So let's say that it did not happen and it did not transpire. So the first small sentence of this doomsday of 50 Cent working at flipping burgers. Okay, it did not happen. It's false. So whatever I do in this scenario, whether I keep loving him or not keep loving him, true is keep loving him, and false is not keep loving him. Whatever I do, I'm still as white and justified as I was before, and I'm completely true and honest with my declaration that I gave him. So these two options will still be true. So leave questions or comments under the video if you want me to address anything. Please like this video, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.